Corporate versus street crime, more damage, less punishment. Introduction. Two categories of violations that deserve special attention are corporate and street crimes. These kinds of offenses are different in many aspects based on facts like mass media coverage and uniform crime reporting, which are often not accurate. As a result, misunderstandings about the severity of wrongdoings spread throughout society. Corporate crime, CC, is more detrimental to the United States than street crime, SC, but punishment for the first type is less harsh than for the second one. Damage of corporate versus street crime. Corporate crime is worse than SC because it can likely cause greater damage while not getting much attention, with the offenders having the ability to get away with their wrongdoings. One can argue that it can lead to damages at a huge scale that is typically neglected. First, while several significant databases assess various crimes, no equivalent exists for corporate crime. There is no data on how many people have died due to CC, not because the numbers would be small but because corporate crime is often overlooked. Second, CC is complex, with no apparent criminals, but is diverse in nature. For instance, it is difficult to determine who exactly should be charged for inappropriately marketed medicine that harms individuals taking it. Third, those committing corporate crimes view themselves as good citizens who make minor mistakes and are likely to have the power to avoid arrest and conviction. Therefore, it is more dangerous than street crime due to its effect on many people, but it is challenging to handle. Frequency and severity of corporate and street crimes. Furthermore, punishment for corporate and street crime was compared in frequency and severity. On the one hand, CC causes economic loss and can also negatively impact health and take away lives, affecting countless families. For example, when faulty ignition switches in General Motors' automobiles led to multiple injuries and deaths, there were concerns that no one was arrested for defects that resulted in people dying. At the same time, the U.S. tends to be harsh on lesser crimes, with prisons being filled with non-violent offenders. On the other hand, while those charged with street crime are likely to be incarcerated, CC can result in imprisonment or fines. Nonetheless, corporate crime is often penalized with the second option, which is expected not to cost much for profitable companies. Moreover, large public firms typically settle accusations with agreements that allow for avoiding jail and trial. Consequently, the comparison between disciplinary methods for corporate and street crimes shows that for CC retribution is less frequent and harsh. Conclusion. While being punished to a smaller degree, corporate crime is more dangerous to the U.S. than street one. CC can cause substantial loss, both economically and in terms of life, but its rates are not examined to determine its actual severity. Moreover, identifying who exactly is at fault is difficult, and the offenders are likely to have the power to evade arrest and conviction. CC is also less punishable than SC because non-violent lawbreakers fill prisons, whereas companies are usually only fined. Therefore, there is a need to change how the legal system treats corporate crime to ensure that major corporations do not endanger people.